Hey there guys, I'm John Campea, and thanks for joining me for my quick review of Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. Now, for those of you who don't know, this movie is actually based on a true story, sort of. It's based on an actual real-life Craigslist ad that two real brothers, played in the movie by Zac Efron and Devine, put together to find dates for their cousin's wedding. Now, in the movie, it's their sister's wedding, but whatever. The Craigslist ad went viral, and I've read it, and it's absolutely hilarious. I can totally understand why producers in a studio would look at this thing and think, this is something you can base a movie on, a good comedy on, in the premise. Go ahead and look it up on Google for Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, real Craigslist ad. You'll find it. It's great. Unfortunately, the movie doesn't follow up on the great premise that the Craigslist ad gives. Look, here's a great example for how this movie completely disappointed me. Remember in that first trailer when you see Stephen Root going, you two guys show up stag and get each other riled up, and then they both go, we don't get riled up.
We don't rile each other up. We never get riled up.
I remember the first time I saw that trailer, and I saw them doing that in the trailer, I remember thinking, oh gosh, I hope the rest of the movie doesn't feel like this, because that scene feels like they're way trying too hard. They're just trying so hard to be funny that it goes too far over their top. Like there's being ridiculous and silly in a comedy and going over the top, but then there's over the top as in we're just trying way too hard. And I remember that scene in the trailer worried me. Unfortunately, that scene in the trailer is a complete representation of the entire movie. And that is so disappointing to me because I have been looking forward to Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates for a long time because I love the cast. I love Devine. He's done some great stuff in his television appearances. I liked him in his movies. And even right now, like even on Modern Family, I like his character there. I actually get a lot of criticism because I like Zac Efron so much. I think Zac Efron is a tragically underrated talent. I think he's really talented, and I think he does really well in comedy when he's got the right stuff to work with. I like Aubrey Plaza. I love Anna Kendrick. I mean, it's such a great cast that this should have worked really well. But unfortunately, this movie, especially with Anna Kendrick and Aubrey Plaza, and I love both of them, totally miscast. These are not characters that these guys should be playing. They're tremendously diverse actresses, yes, but there's still a matter of fit, and they did not fit. And like I said, just like the movie itself, their characters go so way over the top, and they try so hard. It's the same thing with Devine. I mean, his character in this movie, there's nothing likable about his character. There's just not. You watch this movie and you see his character and all the things he says and does, and you're thinking, I don't like this guy. I wouldn't want to hang out with this guy. Zac Efron's character is a little more likable, I guess, but not terribly bright or things like that. But at least he comes across as a nice, sensitive guy. And you know how there's those moments in movies when person A and person B don't like each other, but then person A, something happens, and person B gets to see the real them and see that really they're not so bad, and then they start to form an emotional connection. We see that device played out in hundreds of movies. Unfortunately, they try to do that in this movie. In this case, Devine's character really, really likes Aubrey Plaza's character, and she won't give him the time of day. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she has that moment where, oh wait, he's actually a really nice guy. But nothing happened in the movie. It's so hard not to give spoilers right now. But nothing happened in the movie to make you believe that she would suddenly look at him and feel empathy for him whatsoever. It just doesn't work. And then don't even get me started on this cousin character they bring in. They bring in this bisexual cousin character who, if you read it on paper, should set it up for some great comedy, some really cool things. But again, that character goes so over the top, especially with some Chris Rock stuff, and you'll have to see the movie to know what I'm talking about, that it just became a complete waste. The whole time I wanted to cover my face because I was embarrassed for the people involved with the movie. It comes down to, the director's name is Jake Szymanski, and I hope I'm not mispronouncing his name, but that's all I'm left with is that this is the director's fault. I mean, everything you should know shooting this film, that this is not going to play right, this is not going to play right, and this is not going to play right. It's so far over the top. You constantly have your foot to the floor trying to push the energy level so much that I'm just exhausted by this shtick about 20 minutes into the film. Now, it's not to say that everything is bad about this movie, not at all. There are some shining, bright spots in the film, primarily with the supporting cast. The great Stephen Root, who you remember from It's My Stapler, from Office Space, brilliant in that, but he's also brilliant in just about everything he appears in. The movie is kind of stole by the girl who plays Zac and Adam's sister. Her name's Jeannie. That's the name of the character. The actress's name is Sugar Lynn Beard. I've never heard of her before, but she's in this movie. She is great. She's one of the few characters they don't have on ridiculous overdrive the whole time. And because she's not, she becomes more relatable and more likable. And when she does ridiculous stuff then, it hits as funny. Unlike Adam's character, which is constantly at 10 trying to do ridiculous stuff, so you're tired of it within a few minutes of it. So she was wonderful in it. Also, the dude who plays her fiance, Sam Richardson, I believe is his name. You'll recognize him if you watch that TV show Veep. Him and Sugar Lynn Beard together, they have some really nice chemistry. They have some really nice little funny moments, but unfortunately not enough moments to save this film. Now, every once in a while, I'll see, let's take a movie like Tarzan, where I'll see the critic rating be really, really low and go, you know what? I think this movie is better than the critics are giving it credit for. I mean, Tarzan wasn't a great movie, but I thought it was better than the critic rating it got. But this is a case where it's completely opposite. I look at the critic rating right now for Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, and the last time I checked, it's at 57%. And I'm just thinking to myself, what the hell movie did these guys see? Because there's no way Mike and 57 isn't a great score, but 57% is way too high of a score for this movie. Now look, before I give my score, take this with a grain of salt. This is a comedy, and comedy, all movies are subjective, but comedy is especially subjective. What might be funny to you may not be funny to me, and vice versa. So your mileage may vary once again. You may watch this film and find it incredibly lighthearted and funny. And look, this movie has a lot of problems. And a movie like Central Intelligence with Kevin Hart and The Rock that's out right now also had a lot of problems. The difference is, in comedy, we judge the movies by a different standard. We mainly judge comedies by, did it make me laugh? Whereas in Central Intelligence, made me laugh. And unfortunately, in Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, it didn't. So I'm going to give Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates a 3 out of 10. I'd be curious if you've seen the movie so far, and then if you have seen it, let me know your thoughts. And if you liked it, tell me what you saw that I didn't see, because I'm a little confused about how it's getting such a high score on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Anyway, make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on social media on Twitter and Facebook, simply @John Campea. And thanks for joining me for my review. My name's John Campea. Bye-bye.